Hi guys, one video about cash book, whether it is journal, ledger or both, I've already uploaded. Now let us get into some important discussions about bank column. When I say bank column, my money is lying with the bank and I'll be making money payment from my bank account also. Similarly, I will be receiving some money in my bank account. So obviously we will come across checks deposited, checks issued. Now, whether check is deposited or check is issued, that is, we have received money in bank or we have paid money from bank account. Let us first understand what is check. To better understand, once I issued a check, that means I have given order in writing to bank to make the payment from my bank account. From the money which is lying with the bank, I have given order in writing to bank. Now this check that I have issued can be a bearer check or it can be a cross check. Now, what is bearer check? Bearer check यानी I give order in writing to my bank to make the payment at the counter at my bank to a person who will carry the check. Bearer of the instrument, the one who will hold that check, will get money, that is, he will get cash from my bank. And if it is a cross check, second type of check that I will issue, I will mention at the top of the check account pay. I will put two cross lines and indicate to bank not to make any payment to the bearer of the instrument, but only to make the payment, that is to transfer money to his bank account. So I have the choice, either I will give instructions to my bank. Okay, one who will carry the check, bearer of the instrument, will get money, cash from my bank at the counter, or the amount will be transferred from my bank account to his bank account through banking operations. Now, अगर मैंने चेक इशू किया होगा, please concentrate. If I've issued a check, whether it is a bearer check or cross check, money will be paid from my bank account. So my bank will be the giver. So it is always bank account that will be credited. Once you have issued a check, bank account will be always credited. But if I have received a check, then perhaps things are little technical. जैसे हमने डिस्कस किया that I have issued a bearer check, so my bank will make the payment to the person who will carry the check. Same way, if I have received a bearer check, then will I say bank account debit? First thing, if I have received a bearer check from my customer, then I cannot go to my bank and deposit the check because he has given order to his bank to make the payment to the bearer of the instrument. So it means if I have received a bearer check, I will have to carry that check physically and go to his bank, and his bank will make cash payment to me. So if I have received a bearer check from Mr. A, an examiner will specify if it's a bearer check, that you have received a bearer check. If examiner says only check received, then we don't assume it to be bearer, but we conclude that it is a cross check. Remember this forever. If you have received a bearer check, they will specifically mention that bearer check is received. So if I have received a bearer check from Mr. A, my entry will be cash account debit. Let us say it is of 10,000 to A's account 10,000. Please don't misunderstand. I have received a check, but still I am writing cash account because it has got nothing to do with my bank balance. I will never ever be able to deposit this check into my bank account because he has not given order to his bank to make payment to my bank account, but he has given order to make the payment to the bearer of the instrument. So I will carry this check to his bank. I will give the check at his bank at the counter and take cash. Am I very loud and clear? आज के बाद जिंदगी में कभी भी इफ यू आर गिवन इंस्ट्रक्शंस दैट यू हैव रिसीव्ड अ बेरर चेक, भूल से भी गलती से भी बैंक अकाउंट डेबिट बोलना ही नहीं है. इट इज ऑलवेज कैश अकाउंट डेबिट. एम आई वेरी लाउड एंड क्लियर? ओके. नाउ second part. This was which check? Bearer check. Now you have received a cross check. Account pay check. That means Mr. A did not give instructions to his bank to pay the money at the counter, but Mr. A gave instructions to his bank to transfer the money in my bank account. So I have to follow the banking mechanism. That is, I will go and deposit the check with my bank. My bank will get in touch with through RBI with him, and the amount will be transferred in my bank account. तो तुम बोलोगे सर तो बहुत सिंपल है. If you have received a cross check, we will always say bank account debit. Yes, hold on. आपको क्रॉस चेक रिसीव करने के बाद पहले ये क्रॉस वेरीफाई करना पड़ेगा कि वो क्रॉस चेक किसी और दिन तो डिपॉजिट नहीं हुआ. सर क्या बोल रहे हो? लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड दिस पार्ट मच मोर इन डिटेल. फुल कॉन्सेंट्रेशन आई वॉन्ट. I have received a check of rupees 10,000 on 10th of Feb 22 from A. Since they did not specifically mention that it is a bearer check that I have received, I conclude that I have received a cross check. And I have received this check on 10th of Feb. I will go and check whether it is given that it was deposited on any other day or not. So आगे का 2-3 transaction check करना पड़ेगा. Give me 2 minutes, I'll clarify this point further. But thumb rule is, if you have received a cross check, before you pass any entry, you must cross check whether it is deposited on any other date or not. If no such instructions are given that the same check was deposited on any other date, then it is understood, implied that it was deposited on 10th only. So in that case, I can say bank is the receiver. So bank account debit 10,000 to his account 10,000. This was situation A. Situation B is, yes, you have received a check of rupees 10,000, right? On 10th of Feb 22 from A, and deposited the same into bank on 13th of Feb 22. Of course 10 के बाद 11 12 के transactions होंगे in the question that you will be solving. So after that 13 के साथ ये information आएगा. मैंने अभी साथ में record किया है. As I discussed with you when I was discussing a situation, henceforth in lifetime, whenever you will come across check received, not specifically even bearer check received, so it is a cross check received, you must cross verify whether the check was deposited on any other date or not. So yes, we checked and we got to know that the check was received by us on 10th, but it was deposited into the bank on 13th. So on 10th, concentrate. Definitely we will have to credit A's account because A is the giver. So A's account will be credited by 10,000 on 10th because he gave us a check. On 10th, I cannot say bank account debit because I have not deposited the check with the bank. If I have not deposited the check with the bank is not the receiver. अरे सर तो अभी क्या करेंगे? Yes. On 10th, I will go and keep the check in the cash box and treat as if I have received cash. Sir, check है और आप cash. I will treat this check received as if I have received cash. And on 10th, I will pass the entry. Cash account debit 10,000 to A's account 10,000. Is this part very clear? This is as on 10th of Feb. Please understand the logic. On 10th, you have not deposited the check with the bank. So bank is not the receiver. So bank account cannot be debited. But on 10th, A is the giver. So A's account must be credited by 10,000 on 10th of Feb only. Hence, I will treat this check received as if I have received cash. And I will debit cash account. जब 13th को मैं जाके चेक डिपॉजिट करूंगा बैंक में, that time bank is the receiver. So bank account will be debited by 10,000. And I will 100% now credit what? Which account I will credit? Yes, I'll be creating cash account because as good as now I am removing cash and depositing into the bank. जब चेक रिसीव किया था तो ट्रीट किया था एज इफ आई हैव रिसीव्ड कैश. सो जब चेक को मैं कैश बॉक्स से रिमूव करूंगा तो आई हैव टू ट्रीट एज इफ आई एम रिमूविंग कैश. That's all. Nothing to worry in cash book. So let me summarize what I did discuss about checks in this particular video. Once you are issuing a check, you don't bother whether it is a cross check or a bearer check. You are making payment from your bank account, so always bank account will be credited. आपको टेंशन चिंता करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Once you have issued a check, whether it is a cross check or a bearer check, you are asking your bank to make the payment. So bank is the giver. Your bank balance will go down. Your bank will make the payment from the money that you have kept with bank. So it is always bank account credit. Once check is issued. Same logic may not work for when will you receive a check. So पहले चेक रिसीव किया तो आप चेक करो बेरर चेक लिखा है. अगर बेरर चेक लिखा है तो will you get money in your bank account? No, because the customer gave instruction to his bank to make the payment to the bearer of the instrument. So आप वो चेक आपके बैंक में डिपॉजिट नहीं करोगे. You will carry the check physically to his bank, give it at the counter, and at the counter his bank will pay you cash. So if it is bearer check received, you will always debit cash. Am I very loud and clear? Now, It is not mentioned bearer check received, but it is mentioned it is cross check received. या it is just mentioned that check is received. दोनों केसेस में क्रॉस चेक लिखा होगा तो क्रॉस चेक ही है, नहीं लिखा होगा क्रॉस चेक, लेकिन नहीं लिखा है बेरर चेक तो भी वो क्रॉस चेक होगा. आप क्रॉस चेक होगा तो आपको हर बार आफ्टर रिसीविंग द क्रॉस चेक का इंफॉर्मेशन यू विल क्रॉस वेरीफाई आगे का 4-5 ट्रांजैक्शंस वेदर यू हैव डिपॉजिटेड द चेक ऑन एनी अदर डेट और नॉट. As I have discussed in the first example, they gave us instruction that I have received a check of rupees 10,000 on 10th of Feb and आगे के किसी भी adjustment में it was not mentioned that it is deposited on 13th or 14th or 15th. So it is understood, implied, concluded that it was deposited on the same date. So bank is the receiver. So bank account was debited by 10,000. आज चेक रिसीव किया, आज ही बैंक में डिपॉजिट किया तो बैंक अकाउंट आप डेबिट करेंगे. लेकिन आपने 10th को चेक रिसीव किया और फर्दर आपने इंस्ट्रक्शंस क्रॉस वेरीफाई कर दिया तो यू वर गिवन इंस्ट्रक्शन दैट द चेक वाज डिपॉजिटेड ऑन 13th ऑफ फेब. तो तुम बोलोगे सर 10th को मैं नहीं लिख सकता हूं बैंक अकाउंट डेबिट बिकॉज आई एम नॉट डिपॉजिटिंग द चेक इनटू द बैंक ऑन 10th. एग्जैक्टली. बट इज ए गिवर ऑफ द चेक ऑन 10th? यस. दैट मींस यू विल हैव टू क्रेडिट हिज अकाउंट ऑन 10th ओनली एंड नॉट ऑन 13th. Isn't it? So now you'll debit which account against that? You'll keep the check in the cash box and treat as if you have received cash. So on 10th of Feb, when you have received a cross check and you have not deposited into the bank, treat that check received as if you have received cash. And pass the entry cash account debit 10,000 to A's account 10,000. Am I very loud and clear? Then on 13th of Feb, when you go and again deposit a check with the bank, bank is the receiver, so bank account debit. Now when you remove the check from the cash box, treat as if you are removing cash from the cash box and credit which account? Cash account. आपके अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए बी पार्ट में ये जो दो एंट्री पास किया उसका अल्टीमेटली नेट इफेक्ट क्या है? बैंक अकाउंट डेबिट 10,000 टू एज अकाउंट 10,000 बिकॉज नाउ द चेक हैज बीन डिपॉजिटेड इन बैंक. सो इट शुड बी बैंक अकाउंट डेबिट 10,000 टू एज अकाउंट 10,000. दिस कैश क्रेडिट this cash debit and this cash credit will get cancelled. And the net effect will be bank account debit 10,000 to cash account 10,000. I tried to cover up the mystery related to checks received, cross bearer, checks issued, cross bearer in this video. Stay tuned to our YouTube channel. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a teacher. I'm Neeraj sir. So I'm trying my level best to discuss all the wow points in every chapter of 11th standard. This is just an attempt to make you understand the importance of logic. Always learn things logically. What is the difference between logic and magic? What you understand is logic. What you don't understand is magic. Mind it. Every magic has a logic. See you soon with more points to be covered up in cash book. Bye.